Hey, in today's YouTube video, we're going to talk about why it hurts when your friends succeed. Now, have you ever wondered why it feels uncomfortable or even painful when your friends experience success? Perhaps they got a promotion at work, they entered into a prestigious school, or made a successful trade in the stock market which netted them thousands of dollars. You feel like you're a good person. You want your friends to win, right? But then there's that little bit inside you that hurts when they succeed, and you wonder, hey, am I actually a bad person? Like, shouldn't I want my friends to succeed? Why do I feel bad when they're winning? I should be happy for them, right? So that's something that recently crossed my mind. And I was like, why aren't I happy when some of my friends win? Like, I'm afraid to click onto their Instagram stories. I'm afraid to click onto or even like some of their Instagram posts, right? Or when you see like something on LinkedIn, like someone got a promotion or something, you're like almost afraid to congratulate them. And I thought it was a very strange phenomenon. So I recently started watching a philosophy channel called Jonathan Bai, who's really, really great. I highly recommend you guys go check him out. And he recently mentioned the works of Rene Girard, who was a French philosopher, I believe, or psychologist. And he came up with a concept called mimetic rivalry. Now you'll see in this video right here, we have a lovely image of Mr. Rene Girard over here, a very senior and learned man. He actually passed in 2015. And then we have Jonathan Bai over here, whose YouTube channel you might be familiar with. Awesome channel, would highly recommend it. All right, so in my own words now, I'm gonna explain to you what mimetic rivalry means and I guess how you can use it in everyday life. So basically, the way mimetic rivalry works is you can be influenced by external people or you can be influenced by your peers. So that feeling of pain hurts more when someone is your peer as opposed to when someone is an external person. So the more further away someone is to you socially, status-wise, by age, by race, or any other differentiating factor, the further they are away from you, the less that pain hurts when they succeed. It's easier to cheer for those people. The closer somebody is to you, with those factors I mentioned before, like status, age, power, money, etc., the more it hurts. And the reason it hurts more is because of shame. Now, when someone is really far away, imagine Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan is an incredibly, the world's best basketball player, right? He lives over in the United States. He's gone through the NBA for, I don't know, like 10, 20 years. And, he's regarded as the best basketball player of all time. When Michael Jordan wins another championship, or when he gets another brand deal from Nike, or he's selling his house, right, for millions and millions of dollars, you don't feel bad at all. You feel no shame towards that person, right, towards Michael Jordan, because he's so vastly different from the rest of us, right? Everyone says he's the GOAT. He's, I don't know exactly how tall he is, but he's probably 6'3", 6'2", right? He has millions and millions of dollars. He's been a basketball player his entire life. He's probably got 2 decades of experience under his belt at least, right? And then he's also got a network, with all the biggest NBA players. He knows people from the sports industry, etc., right? He is not a mortal man, essentially. He's in the GOAT status, right? He's so elevated, I guess, above the rest of us that you don't feel like you're on par with him. Therefore, the things that he does, they don't feel relevant to you because we might not be able to achieve those things. There's the same caliber as him, right? It's not even in our conception, right? Now, imagine you were Michael Jordan's vice captain on his basketball team, like in high school, right? Imagine like you two were both 13, you both joined your high school basketball team at the same time, and let's say he became captain and then you did not, right? This might not be Michael Jordan's actual biography, by the way. I don't actually know if he played in high school or not, but this is just an example, right? Imagine you two started at the same place. Suddenly, Jordan, is scoring 20, 30 points a game in high school, right? And then you're doing like 15. Now you're like, oh man, like I could be doing that. He's not that far away from me, right? Like we should be the same. And then suddenly, Jordan, starts getting noticed by scouts. And then he starts like becoming an NBA prospect. He starts getting into magazines and stuff like that. You start to feel really bad because he is ascending really quickly, but you guys are the same age. You went to the same town. You went to the same school. There's a lot of things that make you guys peers, right? And that's what really hurts, because you're like, hey, we're technically pretty similar. We're kind of the same, right? We're not exactly the same, but we're really similar. Why is he ascending so much and why am I not? That's where that shame comes from, where you're like, holy crap, why is my friend who I grew up with or who I've known for years, who I went to the same school with, why is he doing so well and I am not, right? We're in a relatively similar situation. Why am I not also ascending, right? So that's where I feel like that comes from, and or based off of what Rene Girard was saying, and that's due to our deep-seated desire to be superior to others, right? It's kind of like an ugly, I guess, finding from Rene Girard that says humans, we like inequality, right? And that's so contrarian to say in today's society where everyone's like, hey, everybody's equal, everyone should be the same. And we've really leveled out that playing field where we're now saying like, every single person should be treated equally, right? So our deep-seated human desire, though, we see it everywhere, to be superior to others is I think on a continuum, right? Obviously you have narcissistic individuals who really like being the center of attention. They love the praise, they want to be number one, right? And then you have people on the other end who are probably, your more shy, introverted people, maybe the more philosopher type of people who care more about truth seeking and, less about the vanity, right? But I think everybody is subject to pride on a continuum, right? We all like recognition of others, and we all like feeling like we're smarter, or feeling like we have moral high ground, or feeling like we're superior in some way, right? And you'll see this everywhere in life. You'll see people that wear all the designer clothing. They're trying to appear to be of higher status than others, right? You see people like vegans, for example, putting others down for eating meat, right? And that's them trying to be morally superior to other people, right? And then I suppose, even in like normal competition or normal things at work, positions at work, you'll see your manager sometimes use their authority over you and they'll feel good about it, right? Because they feel superior to you. So yeah, that's everyone's deep-seated desire to be superior to others. And when we feel like others, on our level are suddenly becoming more superior to us, that hurts, right? That even if we don't want it to, like it does hurt to some degree, right? Because we feel like, wait, we were pretty similar, we're on the same level, but now you're becoming better than me? Whoa, I feel threatened. And that's that feeling of unsettling, or like that uncomfortable feeling that you feel inside when you see somebody who's supposed to be your friend or like your peer winning, because you feel threatened now that they may be becoming superior to you, right? So yeah, that's what Rene Girard was saying. And I guess in this image over here, you can see you're afraid of people that becoming much bigger than you, right? Just like this image that we see right here. So yeah, what makes somebody close to you, right? Like what makes you a peer, right? So I don't think there's one clear answer for this. It's not like, you have to be within 2 years of each other and you have to go to the same high school or anything like that. I think it's on a continuum as well. So it goes like, if it's your twin, right? That's probably on this side of the spectrum where you are an exact peer, like one-to-one peer. Like you have the same genetics, same upbringing, same schooling, I think, right? Same biology, you got the same like level of intelligence, you have the same bedroom, you have the same, computer, you have the same you eat the same food, you grew up knowing the same people, you have the same friends, you have the same teachers. That's like super, super, super ultra similar. That person is definitely your peer, right? And then you have, over here on the other side, like you might have somebody who is very different from you because they have very different traits. They have different age. Like Jordan, you might be, I don't know, if you're watching this video, maybe you're in your mid-20s or mid-30s. And then Jordan's, I think, is in his 50s, right? So you're like, oh, he's a lot older than me, right? He's also got a lot more experience on you in playing basketball. Maybe you only played basketball from 13 to 18, but Jordan played like, his entire life and career, right? So you're like, oh, he's obviously got a lot more on me there. In terms of material money as well, Jordan obviously has made millions and millions and millions of dollars. And perhaps, you're just trying to crack 6 figures. So you don't feel like you're at that level yet, right? So all of those types of characteristics make somebody appear or not appear to you. So it's all on a continuum. If you feel really threatened by someone, that's typically a sign that that person is your peer, or you would consider them your peer, right? And if you don't feel threatened, that would tell you that you don't feel like that person is a peer to you, right? Okay, so yeah, basically the learning here is, the closer someone is to your level, the more it hurts when they succeed, right? So yeah, I think, it's a good thing to know that this is baked into our human psyche, according to Henry Girard. Sorry, not Henry Girard, that's from Suits. Rene Girard. So I don't think you should feel bad about it. I feel like it's completely natural. I feel bad all the time when I see other people like succeeding, right? But with that bad, there is some good as well, right? I don't think feelings are so black and white. It's not like you feel happy or you feel sad, right? Sometimes you feel sad and happy at the same time. Like, let's say your best friend suddenly got a girlfriend. You'd feel happy for him, but sad at the fact that you now lose time with him, right? Because he's going to focus more on his girlfriend, right? So there's those bittersweet moments. And I think this is kind of a similar thing where you do feel threatened because that other person might be becoming more superior than you, right? Or you feel like they are, even if it's not true. You feel like they are. But you're also happy for them. You can be happy for them, right? You can be maybe 70-30. So you can be 30% threatened, but also 70% happy, right? So that's also possible, right? So yeah, I don't think you should feel bad if you feel those feelings. And I think these images down here really illustrate that point of similarity. So, if you're orange over here and somebody is blue, you're not going to feel as bad, right? Like maybe you're a male over here and this person's a female. They got nominated to be, the most beautiful person in your city. You're not going to feel bad about that because you're like, oh, I'm so different from that person, right? She's the most beautiful female. I'm male. So you're like, it's not like I could win that competition anyway. You wouldn't feel bad. But if you were like these gentlemen over here, all in the blue suits right here, right? And you're all peers, you're all extremely similar. You would feel bad right here if one of your peers started to ascend or started to win, right? And you weren't winning. That's when you would start to feel bad. So, like what are we going to do with this information now? Like, great, Pat, I feel like shit when my friends win. What am I going to do with this information, right? Well, number one, I think is don't feel bad. Just recognize that it's something that's happening within you and your psyche called mimetic rivalry. It's a very normal thing. I think its purpose is to propel you forward to greater heights, right? It's a natural source of energy for you to go out and make a change to make sure that you're not feeling threatened by others and you feel happy with your situation. So I think that's number one. It's a good natural boost of energy. I think number two is that we can learn something from mimetic rivalry and we can use it to, I guess, make others less uncomfortable. So there may be situations in your life where you feel like you can't bring up your accolades or you can't bring up your achievements in the fear that you will make others uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in that situation where you don't want to bring up your school grades. You don't want to bring up that promotion you got at work. You don't want to bring up the fact that you got a new car or that you're thinking about buying a home, because you don't want to come off as someone that brags. You don't want to come off as somebody that makes others uncomfortable. So you keep it to yourself, right? But you also want to share those things with your loved ones and your friends. You want to bring good news up, right? To celebrate with others, but you don't want to make others uncomfortable through mimetic rivalry. So what I kind of learned from this is that if you do bring up good news and you feel like someone is a very close peer to you and they may feel threatened or uncomfortable by what you're saying, it's really important to layer that good news with differentiation. So let's say you just got promoted and your colleague who's also in the same position as you didn't get promoted, right? You can tell them the good news like, hey Brad, I recently just got promoted to a brand new job. I'm the manager of the department now, right? And then Brad might be like, he'll be like, he won't be fully happy. You kind of see it in his face, or he might put on a show. But I think most of your colleagues will act the same. It was not going to be 100% happiness. It might be like 80% happiness or like 90% happiness, but that 10% will feel threatened, right? And here is when you say like, I got it because, I've been working in the department for 5 years, right? Like, everyone here is quite a new team. Everyone's been here for like one and a half years. I've been here for 5 years. It's been a long time coming, and I've been asking management for it for a while. So immediately, Brad and the other team members may feel less threatened because they're like, oh, you know what? You're right. Like, how could I expect to become manager when I haven't even been here for 5 years? I've only been here for a year and a half, right? Like, that makes total sense. Like, I feel less threatened, right? Or you might say like, lately I've been taking night classes with my dad, who is, really good at management. And he actually teaches a management night class, which gave me a diploma in management. So now I have that skill, and that allowed me to ascend. And then your friend would be like, actually that makes total sense, because I actually don't have any management qualifications. Like, if I did, I could definitely do that as well. And you're like, exactly, you could 100% do that as well. Like, you should, here's my dad's number, right? And suddenly, like, that interaction doesn't just feel like a one-way, like, brag, or like, I'm better than you, or like, now you're lower than me conversation. It can be softened to be much more palatable and received a lot better. So yeah, that was just my interpretation of that mimetic rivalry process. So I guess just to hit it home and to summarize, when someone close to you feel is a peer wins, something in your human psyche feels threatened, right? Because they may be becoming superior to you. That is called mimetic rivalry. If you perceive someone to be really far away, they're very different to you, they have very different circumstances, very different characteristics, you will feel much less threatened by that individual. And yeah, there you go. So that's it. This is actually my first YouTube video on this channel, where I guess I'm just going to be talking about things that I'm learning on my journey, and any important lessons, I guess, that I have along the way. If you guys are interested in that type of stuff and you want to learn with me, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, bye-bye.